Hi, I'm Mitch Shoemaker, and today is day 25 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and celebrating myself. So, yay! I'm a quarter of the way through, and I needed to comb out my hair before I did the video, so now I'm playing with it because my fingers are all stuck in it because my hair is all tangled from having the windows down, which is kind of what I'm celebrating today, kind of, sort of. I was thinking about it, and I really want to celebrate the fact that I love heat and nature and celebrating that I'm an Arizona girl, I guess. That's what keeps coming to mind. I'm an Arizona girl. No, I love living in Arizona. I love the heat, and I just kind of been laughing at myself the last week or two every time I'm out driving around, and it's like my car temperature says it's 104, 105 outside, and I roll my windows down and stick my arm out, and I'm like, oh, I feel so good outside. I love that it's so warm outside, but my hair gets all tangled because my windows have been down. I also love that it's night outside and it's like 70 or 80 degrees. You can still go for a walk when it's dark outside, and that people are just like super friendly, and you can just go walk around at night, and it's not like scary to go walking at night because other people are just out enjoying the cooler weather at night, especially in the summertime. So and I don't really mind the summer heat. I don't like being in my car because my car is always like 10 times hotter than outside, and then it's like just really hot. But I don't mind being outside. I don't mind having my windows down. I'm like, I'm gonna cut my windows down, cooling off my car with the windows down. I have AC. My AC works in my car. It does. I just like the windows down. And I just like being able to feel the breeze, feel the heat, feel the warmth of outside. I like driving around and getting to see the desert and the trees and the landscaping, especially the desert landscaping. I think it's kind of cool the way people do their yards and stuff like that. So I just like living in Arizona. I love where I live, and I love the heat, and I love the heat. My family always made fun of me growing up because I was always cold. I was freezing, and I swear I moved to Arizona so I could get warm. And I am like acclimated to the heat, and I cannot stand going places that are colder than like I'm like, it gets below 75 and I think it's cold outside. But that's just me. I love the heat. Of course, if it gets too hot, I have a really hard time sleeping if I'm too hot. But and of course, if I get too warm, it also makes me drowsy. And I'm just like, oh. But I mean, I remember growing up and like laying out on the roof or the driveway and just trying to get warm in the summertime. And I love that we only had a swamp cooler. I think I was really sad. I was so disappointed when we got central air at our house, the house I was growing up in. I was like, no, because then my biological mom could turn the temperature down, and she would put it down to like 68 in the summer. And I was like, why? It's summer. And of course, where we lived, it only got to be like 98 or something in the summertime during the day. And it's like, and occasionally it would get to 100 or 101. We'd have like record-breaking hot days. I think it was like 102 or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be outside. And it would still get cold at night. You would still have to put a jacket on when you go outside because it would still get cold at night. And I remember we'd come here to visit in Arizona. We'd come to visit my grandma and my cousins, and it would be warm outside. You didn't need a jacket. Like, we went to go see one of my cousin's baseball games at night, and I remember going to do that in the summertime, and I was like, okay. And I'm like grabbing my jacket thinking it's going to be freezing outside. I'm like, and it's not. It's warm outside. I love it. I love living in Arizona. I love the heat. And even though it's a weird anomaly to me in the summertime when it rains, it doesn't cool things off. Like, the water comes down and it's warm. It's warm on your skin. It's not cold. It doesn't make you cold to be out in the rain. And when I was growing up, if it rained, it meant it was cold outside. Now, granted, in the wintertime in Arizona, if it rains, it is cold outside. But to me, it's cold outside anyway. Of course, lots of people come here in the wintertime because it's like their summer in the northern states and Canada and all that stuff. But I'm like, I can't live in those places because it's just too cold. I don't know how they do it. I don't do cold. Born in Arizona, should have grown up in Arizona, live in Arizona, probably won't die in Arizona. I don't want to be anywhere else but Arizona. I love the heat, and I really don't mind that it gets hot. I tell people when they come to visit, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not hot until it gets over 110. It's not hot until it hits 110, and then it's hot. Like right now, it's just warm. It's just warming up. It's just getting ready to get hot. And then it's 110, which is a bit uncomfortable. And then it gets muggy, but then it cools off again. And it's not bad. I love it. I do. I love the heat. I love being warm. It reminds me of being a kid and sitting on the heaters in the wintertime because I'd be so cold. I'd sit down on top of the heater. I'd beg my mom to turn it up to like 70 or 72. I think it was 72 because she'd have it set at like 68 or 70. And then I would get my nightgown and I would like put it over the heater and I would just sit on the heater. And even though it was like burning me, I would sit there until it went off because I was so cold. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to be melting by the time this goes off because it'll hopefully keep me warm for a little bit. And I moved here, and my grandma used to make fun of me because I would take a jacket with me everywhere I went. And she's like, why are you taking a jacket? I'm like, I wasn't taking it for outside because, of course, it was 110 degrees outside. But I said, I'm taking it for inside because that's something else I don't understand. Why people have to have the insides of their houses like 60 degrees when it's like, or 70 degrees, whatever, when it's like 110 outside. I'm like, that's like this drastic change in temperature, but they do that like all the malls and all the stores and all the businesses, and it's like, really? And I guess it's because I think too many people together makes too much body heat. And I'm like, yeah, but we're all used to it. This is Arizona. We live here in the heat. Let it be hot. I mean, let it be 75, 80, whatever. I can work in that. It's not a big deal. But yeah. So I just like the heat, and I love the nature. I love being able to just go for walks and seeing things out in nature. And I wish that I would do more walking because I really enjoy walking and I really enjoy seeing nature. And I love the fact that you can do that here year round, except maybe when it's raining. But even when it's raining in the summertime, it's still warm. It'd be kind of crazy if there's, flooding everywhere, but it's still warm. So I love the heat. So today I'm just celebrating that I love the heat. I love living in Arizona. I love being an Arizonan girl, whatever. I just love it. And it was just something that, just kind of I was thinking about, and I was laughing at myself last week, and I was like, 'cause I enjoy the hot weather. I enjoy feeling that warmth just beating down on me, just soaking into me, just warming me up. Just walk outside, it's like a blanket of heat, and I'm like, oh, it feels so good. You just wrap up in the outdoor weather. I love it. And maybe I'm crazy. And then when I think it gets too hot or I'm sweating too much, I'm just like, okay, well, it's probably because I'm just overweight, because I handle the heat better when I'm not overweight. So I just need to lose more weight because I still love the heat. I don't want to move somewhere cold. So anyway, that's what I came up with to celebrate about myself today. And I know not everybody feels that way about the heat. I know there's lots of people that love the cold, and I'm like, more power to you. Somebody's got to live there, I guess. But I'm grateful to be able to live to have the choice of where to live, and that I can choose to live somewhere warm, somewhere that I enjoy living and being, and that everyone else has that choice to live somewhere that they enjoy. Well, at least I guess as an adult, you get to pick where you want to live most of the time, assuming you can find work where you want to be. But anyway, that's what I have, and I am grateful to be in Arizona. Whether it makes me crazy or not, I don't know, but there you go. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, or share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you find some fun ways to celebrate yourself, and have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe do some writing.